Yeah. So this is us back. We are ready to eat our cakes, and how fabulous do these cakes look?
They look
Are you
amazing.
quite amazed?
I'm amazed that mine looks...
But how do you know whether that one's yours or...
I saw where you took it from.
Oh, right, okay.
This one is one of mine. And looks pretty much the same
I
as
think
yours.
that one's yours. That's because I put my carrots on at an angle and yours are straight, so yeah.
There you
go. But they are all the same, yeah. So, I think what I forgot to ask was, why did you pick carrot cake?
I have loved carrot cake for as long as I can remember. Like, I remember the first time I had it, I guess, that might have been actually late 80s, early 90s. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And the icing is a big part of it. You know, I think if it's not got loads of icing, it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
So the traditional icing that goes on top of a carrot cake is actually cream cheese.
Yes, yes, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in the tea room, because our cake display wasn't refrigerated,
You couldn't keep
we couldn't do that. So I had to come up with an icing that was not the same but equally good. And this was pretty good, and I never had any complaints about this. So
now, am I meant to use my fingers here?
well, what you can do is see the edges of the cakes. Just pull those apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pull those apart.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And at the other side as well.
Yeah, I'm really ruining this. All right, okay.
And then down at the other end as well.
All right, so actually separates it.
Yes.
Right,
yeah.
got it.
And then it comes apart. And you can be really posh, and you could use a fork to eat it, or you could just...
I am one of those people.
Are you a fork person? Well, I'll go and get you a fork.
No, this is fine.
No. I will get you a fork. And so here's the thing: in the tea room, we had little cake forks, and in all the time we bought everything from the tea room. I have still. So it was 2020 when the tea room closed. I have still to find our cake forks.
You mean they've gone missing?
Well, no, they are somewhere in all the stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's still slightly warm.
Yep.
Which is always nice.
Yes.
That's really tasty.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a very, as you've seen, it's a very simple recipe to make. And as a big cake, a 3-tier cake with the icing between each layers spread on the top, it is an indulgent cake.
I mean, I'm going to get full really quickly.
Yes.
With the icing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, but the thing about the cake forks, you'll be the same with me. They are designed for right-handed people.
Okay.
Because if you think on a cake fork, it has a little edge for you to cut the cake,
right.
And you have to cut that with your right hand.
Okay.
So I always wanted to have a left-handed cake fork, but anyway.
So when people say about like left-handed scissors as well, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I remember and you'll be the same. Although you're not as old as me, so you won't have come into the things of. I remember when at school I cut my hand on a. I don't need to go into how I did that, but I cut my hand. I had stitches, and it was all fastened up in a bandage. And my teacher said to me, "It's time you learnt to write with your right hand anyway."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was this, there was that very old-fashioned idea where you have to retrain, and it's like if you're left-handed, you are Satan's spawn.
Yes.
It's like it was a test of a witch.
I know.
And there was all that stuff in history.
It was. I think so that was sort of in the 70s when I was at junior school. So it had got better, but it hadn't disappeared. And at infant school, we learnt to write with a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
And when your writing got better, you could then get a pen. So it was like a progression. It was like, you've done really well, you can now get a pen. And my teacher said to me, when you can write with your right hand, you can have a pen. So if that had been the case, I would have still been writing in pencil, because there is no way that I could write.
See, I can write a bit with my right hand. Like, it's still pretty bad.
Oh.
But like, if it's strange, because if I was playing tennis, I play right-handed.
Oh, right.
I play guitar, left-handed. I write left-handed.
Yeah, I know. That may as well be somebody else's hand. Yeah.
But I'm quite sort of ambidextrous like that.
Yeah, no. So anyway, that kind of digresses over different things.
I just don't want to eat all of this on camera, because I'm just going to look like a complete pig, but
That's okay. So that recipe is from my book.
The Magical Tea Room.
Tea Room will know. So it's full of. I think people are always amazed at this. They go, "God, that book's so big," because they think it's just going to be a recipe book, but it's a recipe book. It's recipes, tales, and adventures, and that's where you see Beatrix is on the front there. So she's in quite a few of them, and then and that's the one that you helped me. You did my audio book for me. Yeah.
I love that picture as well.
I know.
That's
actually so for people who live near me. That's actually just on the little farm road there, and it's a walk that I did every day with Beatrix before I went to the tea room.
Right.
And it was my photograph. I didn't do anything with that photograph. That was just.
Well, I mean, it's hard to screw up when you've got a dog like that.
I know.
Almost smiling for the camera.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, not that I did very much at all, but it's lovely to sort of see how it all works.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, peeling back the curtain and seeing how it all works.
Yeah. So people are going to know how to get in touch with me because I'll be doing the post. But if people wanted help with their social media, or recordings or audiobooks, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, needless to say, I am everywhere on social media. Greg Friel, G-R-E-G-F-R-I-E-L. I'm very active on LinkedIn, particularly for businesses, and that's linkedin.com/Greg Freelance. And there's freelancemedia.co.uk is the site for everything to do with marketing and helping businesses. But I am everywhere.
Yeah.
If you put my name into Google, you will find loads of joyous pieces of music and video
and I think when I first got to know you through Anne at Business Gateway, I thought you were not just, but I thought you were just a social media guy, marketing guy, and this is what you were. So it came as a little bit of a surprise to me to then find out that all the musical stuff that you do.
I mean, before I'm anything else, I'm a musician.
Yeah.
So, and I'm really meant to be on tour just now. In a parallel universe, I'm on tour, and did enough of that in my younger years. But there comes a point where you kind of like, I maybe want to spend a bit more time at home. But I still do lots of music stuff, but I tend to kind of pick and choose what I'm doing. But
you do tracks for people as well, don't you?
I still write and produce, and work with up and coming singers and my own stuff as well. During lockdown, actually, around the time that I met you, I'd just written and produced a new solo album called Love in Lockdown, and that was, as so many musicians at the time were like, I'm stuck in the house, I can't get out, and you have this time to actually be able to record. So at the time, that's what I did, and done a few bits and pieces since then as well, and it really was the case up until maybe about 6 or 7 years ago that I was writing every day, always writing songs every day, or some kind of music. And then I kind of sort of stepped away from it for a bit, but I still write very, very regularly. You know, it's a huge part of who I am. You know, and it's always great to work with talented people. You know, but so I'm about to start working on a third volume of a compilation album of some of my solo stuff. There's 50 Shades of Greg volumes 1 and 2, which are out already. So this is volume 3, and it'll be another 12 tracks. But it's it's not an album of songs that were written as an album. They're just quite wide ranging and sort of disparate from over a period of time. So it's 12 songs that will be they're very different from one another. So I'll be doing that like that, and I've always got 3 or 4 different music projects that are floating around in my head, and then I'm writing 2 screenplays, and I'm working with a couple of good friends of mine on 2 separate musicals just now.
All right.
A good friend of mine, Colin Skugel, we're working on a musical just now that he's written, and I'm just arranging and producing the music. That's called Identity. Right. And then a friend of mine, Tim Jarvis, who goes under the name Gothzilla, who was in Mission Impossible. He was Uri Popovich, the bad guy. Yeah. We were working on a musical that it's kind of more like a rock opera kind of thing, and we're co-writing that. But it's all different. I mean, for me, I just love to be creative, and I love to be creative.
Well, what's the screenplay that you're doing?
I don't really know at this stage.
Right.
So my wife and I were on holiday last week in Morocco, and I just get this look across my face, and she's like, "What are you thinking about?" And I'm like, "I've got an idea for a screenplay." She's like, "Can you just switch off?" I'm like, "No, but that is me switching off." Yeah. Getting a chance to be creative. But there's at least 2 or 3 different ideas out, and it's got to float around in there before I actually sort of start to write anything. Yeah. So there's all these mad crazy projects that I've been doing that have been good ways to network with businesses and sort of show what I do, doing PopCon and Mission Impossible. But the next movie kind of project I do will probably be like a proper short film or something like that. Not just me taking the piss. But actually do it something for real.
Will you be in it, or will you just do the?
Maybe. I don't see why not. But that's the joy for me. It's just like when it can be a lot of fun. Working with other people and collaborating with other people. But whenever I come up with an idea for a project, I tend to come up with everything, or a huge amount of it. And if it is one of my projects that I'm working on, I don't really want somebody else's creative input. I do that with other people when I'm working on their projects. Yeah. But when it's mine, I'm like, "Oh, this is mine."
You want to do that, yeah.
But it's varied and it's different every day. But as long as I get to be creative, it's the main thing.
Yeah. But so I guess all I need to say is thank you for coming.
My pleasure. But I'm going to take a huge tray of carrot cakes home with me.
I think the other thing, just to thank you, is that you're part of this this community that I've been welcomed into, of people who are self-employed, not only self-employed, but people who work for. Generally, it's been up in Scotland so far, but if somebody needs something, you just go, "I know who I'll speak to." Or somebody will say, "I know who you can speak to," and it's just this net.
It's very supportive.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it is a horrible cliche, but your network is your net worth. It's just if you have a good network of people, you can do most things. And if you're not afraid to ask, yes. I think an awful lot of people are kind of like, I don't know, like ask. I mean, there's been an awful lot of things that I've done, and people go, "How did that?" And I'm like, I just walked in and asked them. Yeah. Blag is kind of quite a good way to, drive it like you stole it. Yeah. That kind of idea. It's just like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And people go, oh God, he seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But confidence takes you a long way.
It does. So what's on the horizon for you then, other than?
Well, I'm working on
just
these musicals.
those, yeah.
You know, that's there's that's kind of really like sort of like 1 day a week with each of those things, or something along those kind of lines, and then I've got regular clients that I'm helping with the marketing and all those sort of things, and
you'll have a new book for me to do a book launch for.
Right. Okay. Yes. When are we doing that?
When I finish the book.
Okay. Right. Okay.
It's getting there. So it's camper van capers. Have you turned the water on?
Yes. I like camper van capers. That's good.
Yes. So that's probably about 3/4 away. So I'm thinking maybe towards the end of the year.
Nice.
So I'll be.
Okay. Get your people to talk to my people, and
yes,
we'll make something happen.
Yeah. So, but thank you very much. It's been
my
an
pleasure.
absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.